Hi guys, welcome to the video. So this is part 3 of my Australian travel that I did back in 1999 that I found, and something I've edited and put together a long time ago, but just in standard definition. So I thought I'd do a kind of a watch along, react to, just take you through kind of what happened. So the video was in standard definition, so it's not in the best quality, so that's why I'm just going to stick it up in a box near me here and just have myself talking about it and things that are happening in it. So I'm just going to start it up now and we'll get into it. So straight in with another title. Doesn't match any of the titles in the video, you know what I mean, they're all different. It was like back in the days. So this was out where they have an overlook on the city. You can see the city is quite far away. The family I was staying with lived well out in the suburbs. I did get a car on this one. I managed to get the hire car, and they said it's okay without the deposit, you know what I mean, he just kind of let me put like a cash deposit down or something like that, which I had this time because I'd been staying in Australia for a week at that point, you know, so I managed to have some cash on me to put a deposit down on it. That's a cat that was at the end of the street of the family I was staying with. I just basically just went out one day to like, let me go film some stuff round about near their houses, even though I'm in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, just came across this cat and been trying to eat something out of this plastic bag or something, and it kind of got it stuck on its head. And there you go, gets itself free and just casually walks away. And once the cat had gone, I just went in, picked up the bag, threw it in a bin. But what I found fascinating was like the bottlers, the shops there where you could basically drive through and buy alcohol. I thought like drinking and driving doesn't mix, but actually being able to like drive through and buy the alcohol. And we turned up in this stretch limo and did that on a wedding. This was travelling up to Albury-Wodonga from Melbourne, and it really started raining heavy. And I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to have to slow down because I don't know what's coming up, you know what I mean, what the weather's like, and everyone else was just kind of carrying on full speed. Guess they're totally used to it. For me it was like, well, I don't know what's coming, so I'll just better slow down and take it easy. And then we ended up at this place, which is where Ned Kelly's last stand was. So a little bit of a tourist area of Ned Kelly. There was a wonderful museum there where they were doing projections onto mannequins' faces and things like that. It was pretty fascinating. Then we crossed over these bridges into across the Murray River, and they were old bridges and they were falling apart. And I got to say, I was a bit nervous crossing these. They did build a new bridge over the road and replaced it, but I found it kind of scary going over it the first time. It was like I was seeing something out of like an American Civil War movie or something like that, when I saw those bridges and the style of them and everything. This was just down at the river, not far from where they lived in Howlong, small town called Howlong, which not too far from Albury-Wodonga. I was just filming, some of the wildlife down there, because again, a lot of these things were, completely alien to me at that time, and I was just fascinated by, the country, the people, but also, like the wildlife and everything there. So many different things to see and hear and to experience. This was just one of the houses for sale in in how long, and I was just like, wow, you know, that's so big compared to the houses we had in the UK. Streets here as well were just, you know, so wide, big pedestrian areas. So we went out touring, and they kind of like, oh, let's go and look at some of the old buildings and things like that in there, and the buildings were, you know, 1920s or, you know, around that era kind of thing, and I'm like, yeah, it's not really an old building when you come from somewhere like the UK where you're drinking in pubs that were built in the 15th century and things like that. So you kind of just go, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. But it's cool. It's nice to see it. This was from one of the lookouts, not far by. They had like a memorial up there that I saw, so I just went up and gave you a look down over Albury-Wodonga. This is underneath the bridge, and you can see how you know, how kind of rickety and things like that it is. Get a good bit, so yeah, it was kind of scary to drive over. There we go, 32 kilometres from Wodonga, and kangaroos for the next 7 kilometres. This was just driving around countryside, having a look, seeing what's there, and just trying to film it. And obviously, it got to this point in my thing, I'd done a lot of editing at the beginning stuff, and then this stuff I was just kind of like, I just throw in the shots and get back to it. So it was still kind of a bit of a rough edit area, you know. Not quite sure. There's probably something burning there, or could have been a little dust storm cyclone thing. That's just a rocky outcrop that I just saw and was kind of like, oh wow, you know, I don't see things like that back home, and so I thought I'd you know, film it, 'cause it's just standing out there in these fields, you know, just this big rocky outcrop, and there's someone's house just living in countryside, lots of lovely pasture land around them and everything else. Gum trees, you know, lining the roads.
After hours of searching,
that was my attempt at a joke. When I was there, just pulled over, stopped and quickly filmed it. This is back in Melbourne, so I arrived back in Melbourne that afternoon, that evening, and I stopped in downtown Melbourne and just had parked the car up. I think I might have even went to a movie, and I just parked the car up and just had a look around, seeing what was you know, what was available in the shops and things. I think the comedy festival was actually on at the time, because there was a lot of people out in the streets doing comedy and things like that, you know, trying to make their name, trying to get themselves well known. And this is just down by the river, and just the sound of all the birds, you know, roosting for the night just in the rafters was quite deafening. See some of them going up and down. You know, people just getting on with their day-to-day lives, you know. Some people out for a row, some college or something possibly, or just from a rowing club. Australians are very sporty and athletic. It's just the sun setting there and just catching some of the clouds. So it's going down. It's just on the south bank of the river in the town centre. I think it was near the exhibition centre. I think that's the main train station. It's the railway station. So it's like kind of like smack bang right in the middle of Melbourne. The Melbourne Exhibition Centre So I was playing with some of the filters that I had for the camera, star filter, and a shop that was nearby had some typical Australian hats there for sale. That's the exhibition centre, Needle. And this was, was changing colour and things like that. I had a bit of a kind of a light show going on with it, which I don't think I managed to fully capture just how nice it was down there. It was a lovely night. It was decent temperature, it wasn't cold or anything like that. And so by the time I got back into Melbourne, it was getting kind of into the evening, shops were closing down and everything else. And after I filmed these things, I just ended up going back to the house, and I think I only spent another day or two before I was then flying back out again. But we went through some pretty big cycles. The bridge. Oh yeah, this was we went to the like a zoo or a petting zoo. They had some kangaroos and wallabies and things like that. And you could actually get fairly close to them and feed them out there. So it was fascinating to see some of the wildlife up close. Never seen anything like them before, and they really are a kind of quite beautiful but gentle creature. Especially these ones, I guess, maybe tamed them somehow, or or something. I guess they get fed. They're pretty chill. They just want to kind of hang out, and people coming along and feeding them and everything there. And they were fairly relaxed. And twisties. We've never eaten twisties before, and getting hold of yourself a packet of twisties. It's like even kangaroos love twisties. They really are beautiful. We are back in the lizards enclosure. So getting there, getting to see some lizards, getting to see some snakes. It's in there. Australia's well known for its snakes. Most of them are in Western Australia, which I didn't visit. Most of the deadly ones, anyways. But yeah, this was kind of let me go and see these things. I actually saw some of those in my back garden many years later when I lived in Australia. There's a hawk, falcon of some description. I don't recall, I think they had several there, and some dingoes. So you walked around the thing. The dingoes were well separated off from the people. They were kind of stuck on their own little island, effectively, that you could walk around and you could see them. But they were quite beautiful, decent sized dogs, kind of German Shepherd sized dogs, and they were just chilling out. And then obviously the koala. Can't go to Australia without seeing some koalas and things like that. And they were just completely chilling out up the tree, eating their eucalyptus leaves and just having a scratch, just taking it easy. This was me in the car heading back to the airport. What happened was I got back to the airport and I actually scratched the car just as I was pulling in the car back, and they wanted like $3,000 off me or something like that, just to cover the excess fee of it. I didn't have it at all, so I was just like, what can we do, because I need to catch my flight. My flight's leaving in like a couple of hours time and stuff, so I gave them all my contact details and they sent me out a bill later, and and I don't even remember how much it was. It was like, it was less than £100 anyways when they ended up sending the bill in the end. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that trip. I certainly enjoyed it. Trip down memory lane, and you're not quite sure why I filmed quite as much of the things there. So I would have, these days I would have gone in and edited a lot of that down. I just probably didn't get around to doing a proper edit of the final part of it. You know what I mean? I seems like the Hong Kong and the Brisbane stuff I kind of got in and chopped a fair bit out, but Melbourne, there's a lot of things in there. But I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you again soon. Maybe do another retro video of some of my previous work and see what I can find and see what I can pull up. Okay, take care and thanks for watching. Bye.